Once a new enquiry has been saved, you can then manage the remaining tasks by selecting Care Home Occupancy Management. On the bottom there are two tabs. One is the to-do list. This will show all outstanding tasks. If they are overdue, they will show in red. If they are nearly overdue, they will show in amber. And if they're into the future, they will show as white. The enquiry tab lists all the enquiries. There is a filter, and as a default, the enquiry status shows active, waiting list assessed, and waiting list unassessed. If you also wanted to see any inactive enquiries, on hold enquiries, or admitted enquiries, you can simply tick the box and then select apply, and this would then show more enquiries. Also, you can filter by enquiry reference, prospect name, enquiry start date, enquiry end date, start admission date, and end admission date. To switch the filter off, simply click on filter, and then the filter screen will be hidden. If you use the filter screen effectively, it will help you narrow your results so you can find whichever enquiry you wish to action. To action an enquiry, you simply select the entry, and this will then open up the enquiry task screen. On this enquiry screen, you can see you have the name of the prospective resident and the contact with contact details. When you set up the initial enquiry, you set up the funding, permanency and care type. If you ever need to change these, you can just click on the pencil mark, select the tick, and it would then change. The enquiry reference is shown here. On the right hand side, you can view when the next task is due, the number of any overdue tasks. You can manually alter the status if you require. As you add tasks, this status will change accordingly. However, if you do want to manually change it, you can click on this and you can deactivate the query, put an enquiry on hold. And if an enquiry has been put on hold, you can then go back into it to activate it. It also shows when the enquiry started and how many days it has been active. Now we'll look at managing tasks. You can see that the enquiry was completed on the 13th of the 6th. A brochure had been provided on the 13th of the 6th, and then the visit was complete on the 15th of the 6th. We are now going to add assessment information. To do this, ensure that the assessment information has been highlighted. Then select Add Entry. For each main task, you will be given 4 choices. The first choice is always the main task, in this case assessment. The second choice is to add a note for that particular task. The third choice is to add a subtask to the main task. So for instance, if you have done the assessment, but you want to keep in touch or invite somebody to the home, then you would use this option. We will look at this later in the video. If you ever want to decline a main task, you would click on this, and this would then deactivate the enquiry, and it may ask you a reason for this happening. In this case, we're going to put an assessment on. Click assessment, and then we will now complete the form. He will enter the plan date, who it's assigned to, and who's visiting, in this case the prospective resident and the enquirer. And you can put in the location, in this case on site, and save it. You will see now that the task is shown as due, and this now appears in a new line underneath. You can also see that the date due is now changed. Once this due date is reached, simply select the task, and we're going to put on when it was actually completed, and then you get, can we meet needs, can we not meet needs, or do we not know? If you say yes, it will mark the enquiry as waiting list assessed. If you say no, it'll deactivate the enquiry. And if you say don't know, it'll put the client onto waiting list unassessed. In this case, we're going to say yes and select save. You'll see now that the assessment has been marked as complete and now there are no more tasks due. It is good practice to ensure there is always a task due. Although this assessment has been completed, we will not be able to admit the resident until a bed becomes available. Therefore, we add a subtask to keep in touch with the client. To do this, select the assessment again, click on Add Entry, and this time click on Task. There's a drop-down menu, and you can either do a follow-up, an invite or event, invite to home, update enquirer, or make decision. In this case, we're going to update the enquirer, and we're going to set this for a month's time, just to say, yes, you're still on the waiting list, and we will be in touch. You assign it, you can make any comment you wish, and then you select Save. This subtask will now appear here, and you will see that the due date is now changed. Therefore, what we should be doing is always making sure that each active enquiry has always got an active task, and then manage them as they go. On the right-hand side, you will see all of the history that we have done from putting on the initial enquiry to the latest task now shows in here. If you wish, you can filter these entries to make them more manageable, and you can also export them. If a prospective resident calls to say they're no longer interested in coming to the home, you can click on Admission, click on Add Entry, and then you can say Decline Admission. When you click on Deactivate, you will see now the admission is declined and the status has changed to inactive. All of these main tasks have a decline option. Sometimes you may be asked to put a reason for it, or other times it will just stop. To admit a resident, simply select Admission, select Add Entry, and then select Admission. We're going to put the plan date as today, the date completed as today, assign, you can make any comments, and then always select the Save and Admit button. Once you do this, the resident will be admitted and it will take you to the new resident screen where you can then add on their bed details, etc., similar to adding a new resident directly. Managing tasks and enquiries is critical to your care home. By managing your tasks effectively, when a bed becomes available, you can quickly identify and admit the most high-value prospective resident. And also, if you use your tasks to regularly keep in touch with each prospective resident, your waiting list will be kept up to date. Key points. Always make sure there is an outstanding main task or subtask. Highlight the main task and select the Add Entry to view the 4 entry choices. If there is a pencil graphic, you can manually edit the information. You can plan a task into the future. This can then be viewed at the bottom of the main task